Today we have with us the 2020 brand new Hyundai i20, now entering its third generation, which is much more sportier and feature packed. In this video, we're going to talk about exactly those things, talking about the styling, the performance of this car, the features, the practicality, not to mention the comfort. So stick with us till the complete end so that we can tell you all of this. But before we start, a very special thanks to Ultimate Hyundai, which is the official Hyundai dealer here in the industrial area of Panchkula. They have an amazing inventory of many Hyundai cars, and if you're interested to buy any of them, well, contact them using the links in the description below. Now with that said, I would like to start the review of this brand new car. The all-new Hyundai i20, like I said, has a much more sportier design now, and that is very well expressed by all the character lines that you will see in this car. As you can see on the hood, we have these lines over here expressing themselves and this car really well. And a lot of people might say that the design of the new Hyundai i20 has been inspired by the brand new Hyundai Verna, which by the way I have reviewed on this channel, and you can find the link to that review in the description down below or an information card on your displays right now over here. But anyways, coming back to the i20, I would certainly agree with those people. Yes, the design of the Hyundai i20 is a lot like the brand new Hyundai Verna, and in my opinion it looks really well. Talking about some styling cues of this car, if you talk about the headlamp array of this car, well, we have a projector headlamp setup, which by the way is LED and provides white light, which is so much better safety wise for lighting the road ahead of you. Coming down below over here, we have fog lamps in this car, which also are projector but give up warm yellow lighting, which is good for diffusing the fog in front of you. We also have a completely redesigned grille in the Hyundai i20, which looks very nice, and the grille really has been integrated well with the headlamps, and that is a styling cue that was seen in the 2020 Hyundai Verna as well. And as we're on the topic of the grille, I would also like to mention that the styling plays a big role in the cooling of the engine as well, because the grille has been designed in such a way that the compartments are now bigger and they provide more airflow into the engine to cool this engine down. Coming around to the side profile of this car, once again talking about the accentuating lines we get to see some lines over on this side, over on the front fender. Coming to the rear as well, we can see some Z style lines over there. So we get that this car has a lot sporty character than the previous model of the i20, and that in my opinion looks really nice. If we start from the front and then move our way back to the headlamps, we can see we get the i20 badging in the headlamps of this car this time around, which I think a lot of people won't even notice, but it's a small little touch that is given in the brand new i20. Coming back over here, we get 16-inch diamond cut alloy wheels in this car, which were also present in the previous generation, but in the previous generation we got 185 section tires. But this time around we get 195 section tires, which provides better road grip on the road. So that's a small little safety touch, which I think is really nice and is a big thumbs up. Moving even back, we get chrome garnish on the bottom side of the windows, and that also surrounds the rear side of the window over there, which looks really nice. Looking on the roof of this car, in the top model, that is the Asta optional model, we also get a sunroof, which I think is really nice, and it's the first time that an i20 has got a sunroof. Coming to the rear profile of the new i20, this I think is one of the most controversial styling cues of the new i20, and that is the extended chrome bar that goes all along the backside of this car. Now personally, I think it's okay. What do you guys think? Do tell me in the comments down below. But anyways, it does go with the sporty look of this car. We get Z style tail lamps in this car, which can very well be noticed when the car is turned on. If we talk about the badgings in this car, obviously we get the Hyundai logo in the clear center of the car. We get the i20 badging over here, and then we get the Asta badging over here. Although this is the Asta optional, and how you can tell that out is through the sunroof on the top of this car. But by far my favorite styling cue of the brand new i20, and that is in the rear end, is of the diffuser that you get over here. It just gives this car such a nice look, and it's so sporty, it actually goes with the character of the car, and it just gives, I don't know, a really nice look to the car, which I am in love with. If you've liked this video so far, I think pressing that red subscribe button would be a great opinion, because one of the main USPs of our channel is to give one of the most detailed reviews for every vehicle we review. It's now time to talk about the engine performance and the mileage of the brand new Hyundai i20. So this time around we get 3 engine options in the i20. This one has a 1.2 liter petrol engine which is capable of producing around about 88 horsepower. Now there isn't any official news on the torque numbers of any engine as of now, but as soon as they're out, I will be updating that in the description of this video, so do keep an eye out for that. But anyways, the second engine option is of a 1-liter turbo petrol, which backs up the sporty character of this car, which produces round about 120 horsepower. And with a hatchback form factor with this kind of weight, 120 horsepower is a lot. Last but not the least, and the most surprising one I must say, is a diesel engine option. That is a 1.5 liter diesel engine. Now a lot of companies are not coming out with diesel engines these days, but Hyundai somehow has come out with a diesel engine option with the i20 as well. So if you're finding a diesel engine that is a brand new car, definitely go for the i20. But anyways, with the diesel engine in a 1.5 liter diesel, you get round about 100 horsepower. So that was about the engine performance. But if you talk about the mileage, well, that is actually going to shock you. Because for both the petrol engines, the company claims round about 17.5 kmpl in the city for the petrol engines and round about 19 to 20 on the highway. But for the diesel engines, it's about 20 kmpl in the city and round about 24 to 25 kmpl on the highway. Now that is just amazing. So starting with the features of this car, I would like to start with the steering wheel. As you can see, it is a leather wrap steering wheel with some metal inserts in between. So it's a very nice fit and finish steering wheel. It's very nice to the touch, quite hefty, and you know, you're gonna have a lot of fun while driving this car. And especially with the white car that we have right now, this contrasted stitching looks really nice, black and white. But definitely it's gonna stay white in no matter which car you get. So just for the white one it's there. But anyways, it's a multifunctioning steering wheel. As you can see, we get the voice command over here, which is linked to the blue link, which is actually a great feature, and I'll come to that in a moment. Now this whole option area here is actually for this infotainment display, and I've already told you about this. We have then the mode button to switch between FM, AM, Bluetooth audio and all that stuff, call ending button, call and picking up button, volume control button, track tune button over here. But over on the other side, these buttons are actually for this display right here. And yes, this complete thing is a display, no analogs whatsoever. So this button is actually for this display, which I'll tell you later on, and this button as well, and then this button as well. But these buttons actually over here are for the cruise control in this car. Yes, that's right, this car also has cruise control, which is an enormously great feature. But anyways, as we've been talking about display, now let's actually talk about this display. So as you can see, it has been turned on now, and the graphics on this display is just amazing. I don't want to sound carried away over here, but to be very honest, in my own opinion, it actually looks as if they have styled the graphics in this display to the BMW M cars that we now get to see in the new generation BMWs. I don't know if that's actually true or if it's just in my head. If you also think so, please tell me in the comments down below. But that's actually what I feel, and that's how they have actually designed the graphics in this car. But anyways, let's talk about this display right here. So right now, as you can see, we have the drive info. It obviously tells us other things like the range of this car, which stays fixed. We have the outside temperature, which stays fixed, and the odometer of this car. Now a brand new car, so obviously 15 kilometers. And then this, we have the average fuel economy of this car, the driving time of this car, and how much you've driven the car. But obviously, as it's a showroom car and it's just been launched, so that's why everything is 0. But then using this button, I can change the display, and then we have the accumulated info. So as you can see, in the last trip, this car has been driven for 13 kilometers and it was only given about 4.9 kmpl. But that's not actually true. Why? Because the car had been started for 2 hours and 25 minutes. So that's why just for the driving of 13 kilometers, it had been turned on for 225 minutes. That's why the average fuel economy was so low. Otherwise, I've already told you about the average fuel economy of this car, and it's pretty amazing. And then last but not the least, we have another display which is for the real-time fuel economy. So when you're going to be driving this car, it gives you the real-time graph of how much this car is giving you in terms of fuel. That is pretty amazing. Then using this button, we can change the mode, and that is the compass. Right now, the car is actually facing north, but as you turn the car and you move the car, you can actually see the real-time information on where your car is facing. So if in any scenario you want to know that, you can definitely look at it from here. Then last but not the least, once again pressing this button, we get into the last one, and that is the TPMS. That's right, tire pressure monitoring system in the brand new i20. But for knowing the tire pressure of your car, you need to be driving the car. Right now, it's in the showroom and we're not driving the car. That's why it's not showing anything. But while you're going to drive the car, tire pressure monitoring system is an amazingly safe feature, and it is just really, really nice. Now, that is one of the safety features in this car, but we're going to be talking about the other safety features in a very short while. Now, we've talked about this display, but we have another display, and that is this one right here. This display is actually the same display that we have got in the Venue, the all new Creta, the all new Verna, and in this car as well. So I have reviewed the Venue, Creta, and all those cars, and I've given a detailed review of this very display in the Hyundai Venue that I reviewed. So if you want a detailed review of this car, and not to make this video so long, I won't be diving into this display in this video. But given that this display is actually the same that we got in the Hyundai Venue, I have already done a very, very detailed review of this display. You can definitely check it out using the links in the description below. But anyways, now let's move on to the other features of this car, and that are down below over here. Obviously, we get auto AC in this car, but one thing not regarding the features, but is the fit and finish of this whole cluster over here. You can see the buttons are amazing, have a very good tactile feel to it, which looks really, really nice and feels really nice. So that's like about the AC. We get one zone climate control in this car, which is automatic but still really nice. We have a wireless charging pad in this car, so if you have a phone that supports wireless charging, make full use of this. Then we have a USB port. This USB port is actually for the Android Auto and the Apple CarPlay in this car, and then this is just for charging. So if you want to use the Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, there's only one USB port, and that is this one. This is just for charging. And then we have a 12-volt charging socket in this car, which is very normal. But by far one of the best features in this car is actually of this thing right here, and that is the Oxy Boost air purifier that we get in the all new Hyundai cars. We saw it in the Venue, we saw it in the Creta, we even see it in this car, and this is actually a really nice feature. You know, all the dust particles in your car, this will suck it right up and give you very clean air in your very own car. Now, two more features that I want to talk about while we're inside the car is, first of all, about these speakers. Well, we have a 7-speaker Bose surround sound system in this car. That's the first time that an i20 has got a Bose surround sound system, and it actually sounds really, really nice. Obviously, I can't play music because of the copyright issues, but definitely believe me on this, it sounds very, very well. The second thing is actually about the mood lighting in this car. As you can see, we have completely blue lighting over on the footwell, over here in the door area, back over here as well. It is really, really nice, and I can just imagine driving this car during the night time. It's going to look really amazing. Next up in this car, we have a sunroof, which is something that I've already told you in the styling part of this car, but still it's an electronic sunroof, so you can control it through this part over here. As you can see, by just pressing this button once, you can turn it completely, open it, and then using this button once again, you can completely shut it off as well. And then you have this sun blind over here, which is manual, so you can just do this, and the sunroof of this car will be completely closed. But next up, I actually want to talk about something, and that is the IRVM of this car. Now, obviously, we get an IRVM which is adjustable, but it is manual. It's not automatic. So that's something you need to keep in mind. But something I want to take your eyes towards is actually BlueLink, the tow-away feature of this car, as you can see, and the SOS. So if you're in an emergency, just press this button and it will automatically SMS and call your emergency contacts so that it can save you from an emergency situation. This is also a really nice safety feature. This is for just the shortcut to turn on BlueLink in this car. And then we have this tow away safety feature. This actually happens is that whenever you want to tow this car, you actually have to press this button, and then only you can tow this car. If you don't press this button and this car starts getting towed up, this car will start raising its alarm. So this is also another anti-theft feature and is really, really nice. Now time to talk about the safety features of this car. Now I've already told you a little bit about safety features, but the additional things that I haven't talked about is number one, that you get 6 airbags in the top model of this car. In the other models you get 2, but in the top model there are 6 airbags. Second is of ABS, that is very normal. Second, we have EBD, and last but not the least, we have traction control system as well. Now all of this actually makes for a very safe car. But now I actually want to talk about the warranty as well. Now Hyundai has actually given 2 types of warranties on the new Hyundai i20. First off, if you drive your car a lot, then you have a 3 years unlimited mileage warranty. But second type of warranty is for those people who don't drive their car that much. And for them, you have 5 years till 50,000 kilometers warranty. Now do make sure that when you want to buy this car, you have to tell the salesperson before your first service, like which warranty you want to opt for. if you want to opt for the 3 years unlimited mileage one or for the 5 years 50,000 kilometer warranty. And I think it's pretty good that Hyundai is actually giving you the option to choose which type of warranty you want. Now, starting with the practicality, we will definitely start with the glove box in this car. And as you can open it, first of all, you do notice that it is a ventilated glove box. So that is a big plus point in this car. But anyways, as you can see, it is a very large, decently large glove box. You can definitely keep a lot of stuff over here. But for organization, I don't really see that much. But definitely space-wise, you can keep a lot of stuff. Coming to the center console, we get a very large storage cubby over here, which is actually for the wireless charging as well. But if you're not charging your phone, you can definitely use this for keeping a lot of stuff. Coming back over here, we get one cup holder over here and a second one over here, but that is actually used up by the air purifier in this car, so do keep that in mind. Last but not the least, we have an adjustable armrest in this car, but that can actually be opened to reveal a very large storage cubby. As you can see, actually my whole hand can fit inside it, and you can easily keep a very large amount of stuff over here. Talking about the door pockets of this car, we get magazine holders over here and a bottle holder over here. Now coming to the rear seats, we definitely have door pockets for one bottle holder in the rear seats. But one thing that is very weird in this car is that you only have seat pocket for the passenger seat in this car. For the driver's seat, there is no passenger pocket. Now that is very weird, but it's not a big deal because obviously these are fabric seats and you obviously need to get seat covers in this car. And just make one thing sure, that when you do get seat covers in this car, just get the ones with the pockets in them. But in the center tunnel of this car, you do get one storage cubby for keeping your phone preferably. And another weird thing in this rear seat is that you would assume that you would get cup holders in the armrest of this car, but once you open it, as you can see, it's actually nothing, and there is no cup holders for the rear seat passengers in the brand new i20. And now coming to the most important part of our practicality session, which has to do with the trunk. First, we're going to talk about opening this trunk, and we have two ways. First is on the key fob. Second is the request sensor that is given below the trunk. And once you open it, as you can see that we have a very spacious trunk in this car. As you can see, according to a hatchback, it is very large. You can easily keep about 3 or 4 bags over here and easily go for a long road trip with your family in the brand new i20. And for organization, we even have a cargo tray in this car which can be unhooked like this and from the other side. And then this comes down and you can easily keep stuff over here as well. As you can see, it has been divided into 3 compartments so that you can segregate your stuff as well. Now for one of the most important parts of any car, and that is the comfort of the brand new i20. So now I'm sitting in the front seats, as you can obviously see. First off, I want to talk about the seat material. There are fabric seats in this car, but they are very soft and very plush. So they grip me well, and I definitely don't have any problem sitting inside this car. The under thigh support when I extend my leg is also adequate. I don't feel any kind of problem over here. Now if I talk about the seating position, well, that is also very nice. Obviously I have the adjustability to adjust the backrest and the height of this car as well, but everything is manual, so do keep that in mind. But anyways, that's not a big deal. You obviously can move the seat back and forth as this is the front seat. So all of this actually contributes to a very comfortable car here in the front end of this car. But let's move on to the rear seats and see what the condition is back there. So coming to the rear seats, you just saw that I was sitting in the driver's seat, that is the seat in front of me, and I'm pretty tall, 6'1". Still coming into the rear seats, you can easily see that I have about 3 to 4 inches, 4.5 inches of legroom. That is actually enormous. And the big thing is that Hyundai has actually made the new i20 a little bit longer than the E-Lite version, that is the previous generation, and that is what is helping in the enormous legroom of this car. Also talking about the headroom, well, I have about 2.5-3 inches of headroom as well. So space wise, there is definitely no problem here in the back seats of the Hyundai i20. Now obviously the seat material is the same for the front and the back seats, so you're not going to have any problem with the seat material as well. Now one thing I would like to say that we also get adjustable headrests even for the rear seat, so that's a big plus point. But that was about the side seat. Now let's move on to the middle seat in this car and see what the situation is over here. Well, coming to the middle seat of this car, one thing for sure that I can say is that this is one of the most comfortable middle seats that I have actually sat in. A lot of times it happens that the seat material for the middle seat is a little bit harder than the side seats, and also the transmission tunnel actually makes a lot of problem. Well, okay, in this car the transmission tunnel is there, it's not zero, but then it is wide enough that I can keep both my feet actually on the transmission tunnel of this car. It's totally up to you. Do you want to keep one leg on this side and the other leg on this side, or do you want to keep both of them on the transmission tunnel? Both of them are actually very, very comfortable. Now, another great thing about this car for the rear seat passengers, not just for the middle seat, is that there are rear AC vents in this car, which is a big, big plus point. And also another USB charging port so that you can also charge your phone while driving in the i20. So overall, the comfortable experience in the i20 is actually very high, and I definitely do like that about the new i20. Now, last but not the least, it's time to talk about the pricing of the brand new i20. Well, depending on the engine option that you choose for, the pricing of the i20 starts from 8.6 and goes all the way up to 10.6 lakhs. And this is the showroom price. Now, the exact prices of each variant, all of that will be displayed on your screens right now. And so that was a detailed review along with the prices of the brand new Hyundai i20. I will definitely be coming out with another video, and that is of the driving experience of this i20. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I think pressing that red subscribe button would be a great opinion, because that video will be out very, very shortly. Now, as for this video, if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. Comment down below what you think about this review, if I could improve on anything or something that I did really well. Share this video as much as you can, and a subscribe would be really helpful to me. Thank you.